Stop scrolling, these 3 dimes could make you rich. Moneybag: the 1989D, 1979D, and even the 1965 Roosevelt dime might look ordinary, but some versions with rare mint errors are worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. We're talking missing clad layers, off-center strikes, double dies, and some of these coins have sold for $5,000, $15,000, even up to $35,000. These coins could be hiding in your pocket change right now. In this video, I'll show you exactly what to look for, real sale prices, and how to check if you have one. Let's dive in. In 1989, the U.S. Mint produced Roosevelt dimes as usual, in 3 places: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked D; and San Francisco, proofs, marked S. The 1989 D dime was minted in huge numbers, over 800 million or more. Because of that, ordinary 1989 D dimes with no errors are very common, worth face value or a little more if in pristine shape. But even in common years, the mint sometimes slips. When mistakes happen during coin production, they can create error coins. A misstrike, an off-center strike, a clipped blank, a missing layer, clad missing, or a double strike can turn an everyday dime into something rare. If you find one of those, your regular 1989 D dime could be worth way more than 10 cents. One way to see how much a 1989 D dime might be worth is by looking at regular, non-error, values first. According to one guide, a 1989 D dime in circulated condition is usually just worth its face value, about 10 cents. In uncirculated, mint, condition, its value might move up a bit, maybe $1 or $2. Some listings show uncirculated 1989 D dimes selling for $5 to $20 in special grades. But that's still nothing close to tens of thousands. The real excitement comes when you find an error variant of the 1989 D dime. These are far rarer. Here are the main types of errors people look for: off-center strikes. When the coin blank isn't properly centered under the dies, part of the design gets cut off or shifted. The more off-center, the more dramatic and more valuable. Missing clad layer. Roosevelt dimes are clad, a sandwich of metal layers. In some errors, part of that outer layer is missing, so the coin may show core metal or look odd. Clipped planchets. When the metal blank was clipped or trimmed badly before striking, the coin might have a crescent missing. Broad-struck errors. If the coin is struck without the restraining collar, it can expand beyond its normal diameter, giving a flattened, stretched look. Die misalignment, doubling, or die cracks. The dies may shift or crack, making doubled letters or lines, or strange distortions. If a 1989 D dime with one of those errors is in excellent condition, it can command much more money. For example, in listings on auction/collector sites, I saw a 1989 D missing clad layer error dime for sale around $124 or more. Some 1989 D dimes with FB full bands designation in uncirculated state are priced in guides between $13 and over $400 depending on condition. But these are still moderate numbers. One really interesting story: someone on a coin forum found a 1989 D dime that appeared to have a missing clad error, i.e., part of the outer metal layer was missing, and shared that it looked legitimate. That shows such errors do exist, even if they are rare. Could any 1989 D dime ever reach hundreds of thousands or even millions? In theory, yes, but in practice, no verified case is known. To get to those sky-high values, you would need a dramatic, visually striking error in an extremely high grade, nearly perfect condition, certified by a top grading service, and then sold at a major auction. That kind of perfect freak error is the kind of thing that becomes legend. You often see stories of rare coins from 19th or early 20th centuries selling for huge sums, but for a modern coin like a 1989 dime, it's much harder. Because 1989 dimes are not very old, the main barriers are, many errors get destroyed or damaged, grading houses reject sloppy examples, and the buyer pool is smaller. So far, nobody has documented a 1989 D dime error sale in the six-figure or million range. Most sales fall in the tens to hundreds or low thousands for exceptional pieces. Still, don't let that stop you. If you find a 1989 D dime that looks obviously strange, try to get these checks done. First, look at the rim. Does it look warped or flattened more than normal? That may signal broad strike or collar error. Second, check the surface. Is there bare metal showing, or are parts of the design missing? That might be a missing clad or off-center strike. Third, examine doubling in letters or the date. Are the letters fuzzy, doubled, or distorted? Fourth, weigh and measure. The dime should be about 2.27 grams and 17.91 millimeters wide. If heavier or thinner, or bigger diameter, something is wrong. Fifth, full bands designation on the reverse. The bands on the torch can add value in uncirculated coins. Coins with full bands show a strong strike and are more prized. If you think you have one, don't clean or polish it, that can destroy the value. Instead, preserve it safely and get it certified by a respected coin grading service, PCGS, NGC, etc. For your video, build suspense early. Tease that one tiny 1989 D dime in perfect error condition could be worth more than your car, or that 10-cent coin might become a $10,000 coin if the mistake is big enough. Use close-ups, highlight what small anomalies might look like, and compare with a normal dime side by side. Then walk your audience through what real 1989 D dime errors look like, what is actually sold, and how they can spot one themselves. In summary, a regular 1989 D dime has little value beyond face value or a few dollars in pristine state. But rare error versions, especially dramatic ones, can be worth tens to hundreds of dollars, maybe even low thousands if extremely striking and graded well. While the dream of hundreds of thousands or millions is a stretch, the possibility of a surprise find is part of what makes coin hunting thrilling. Good luck, your next 10-cent coin might just be a hidden gem. In 1979, the U.S. Mint made millions of coins. That year, they released the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which was the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman. They also made regular coins like dimes, nickels, and quarters. The letter D on the coin stands for the Denver Mint, where the coin was made. Most of these coins are common and not worth more than their face value. But when mistakes happen at the mint, things get exciting. These mistakes are called mint errors, and they happen when something goes wrong during the coin-making process. Maybe the coin was stamped off-center, maybe it was struck on the wrong piece of metal, or maybe it has a doubled image. These kinds of errors are rare, and collectors will pay a lot of money to get them. Let's talk about the 1979 D dime. Normally, this coin isn't rare. There were millions made, and in regular condition, it's only worth 10 cents. Even in mint condition, it might be worth a few dollars. But when errors happen, that changes everything. One example is a 1979 D Roosevelt dime that was struck 70% off-center. That means the image was printed way off to the side, and you can see a large blank area on the coin. That error is very noticeable, and collectors love coins that are clearly different like that. This dime sold at auction for hundreds of dollars, and depending on how extreme the error is, some of them can sell for over $1,000. Just imagine, a 10-cent coin turning into a four-figure payday. But that's just the start. While the 1979 D dime has some cool errors, the real stars are the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Especially the ones with rare mistakes or special features. Some of these coins have sold for more than $15,000, and a few collectors believe that the right kind of error in perfect condition could sell for over $25,000 or even $78,000 in the future. One of the most talked about errors is when the $1,979 was struck on the wrong type of coin blank. For example, there was a Susan B. Anthony dollar that was printed on a nickel blank from 1978. That's not supposed to happen. But it did. This coin was so rare and unusual that it sold for more than $15,000 at a big coin auction. That's the kind of error that gets collectors excited and makes the news. Other cool errors include coins that are printed off-center, coins that are double-struck, and coins that have clipped edges. There are even some coins that were hit with the wrong die, making parts of the image look blurry or doubled. When those kinds of coins are found in mint condition, meaning they haven't been used or damaged, the value goes way up. Some collectors are willing to pay thousands for them. Another thing that can make a coin valuable is how perfect it looks. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC give coins a score based on their condition. The higher the score, the more the coin is worth. A coin graded as MS67 or MS68 is extremely rare. Most coins never get that high of a score. If a rare 1979 era coin was found in one of those high grades, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to the right buyer. There's also a version of the $1,979 called the wide rim or near date variety. On this version, the edge of the coin is thicker and the date is closer to the rim. It's hard to notice unless you look closely, but collectors love these small details. The wide rim coins are worth more, especially in high grades. Some of these have sold for several $1,000s. It's also important to look at proof coins, especially the 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar made in San Francisco. There are two types, one with a filled S mint mark, and one with a clear S. The clear S type is rarer, and collectors will pay good money for one in perfect condition. Now, let's be clear. Not every 1979 D coin is worth a fortune. Most are not. But the key is finding the ones with rare errors, unusual features, or perfect condition. If you're lucky enough to find one of those, you could have something very special. And here's the best part, you don't need to be a coin expert to find one. You just need to know what to look for. Start by checking your change. Look at every 1979 dime and dollar coin you find. Use a magnifying glass to check for errors. Is the image off-center? Is the rim thicker than normal? Is the date closer to the edge? Does the coin look like it was struck more than once? These are the kinds of signs that could point to a valuable error. Also, don't clean your coins. Cleaning can damage them and make them worth less. If you think you found a rare coin, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading company to find out if it's real and what it's worth. So, let's wrap this up. Most coins from 1979 are worth only face value. But a small number of them, especially with major mint errors, can be worth $1,000, $15,000, or even up to $78,000 if all the right pieces come together. These coins are rare, but they are out there. Some are hiding in coin collections, old jars, or forgotten drawers. And one of them might be yours. Imagine this, you open an old coin jar, and there inside is a 1965 dime that shouldn't exist, one that could be worth $25,000, $43,000, or maybe even $78,000. That sounds like a fantasy, but in the world of coin collecting, such rare, extreme error pieces do stir imaginations. While no verified public sale of a 1965 coin at those high prices is widely documented, there are real 1965 coins with minting errors that sell for thousands of dollars. In this script, let me take your viewers on a journey through how those errors happen, how to spot them, and how big values get spread around in collector circles. Let's make your audience wonder, could I actually be holding a treasure? In 1965, the U.S. Mint changed how dimes, and some other coins, were made. Before 1965, dimes had a core of 90% silver. But rising silver prices made that expensive. So in 1965, the Mint switched to a copper core with layers, cladding, of copper nickel. That change created a window for mistakes. What if a leftover silver blank, meant for earlier years, somehow made its way into the machines? A coin struck on silver in 1965 would be a glaring error, it doesn't belong. And collectors will pay big for that. This kind of transitional off-metal error is the most famous 1965 error type. Most 1965 dimes are normal clad coins. They were minted in huge numbers, over 1.6 billion of them. A regular 1965 dime often just trades for a bit above its face value if it's uncirculated. But a true silver error dime is in another league. Some real auction sales show silver era 1965 dimes in the $3,000 to $9,000 range. One 1965 dime in MS-62 condition sold for $9,000 at Heritage. Another 1965 dime struck on a 90% silver blank, in 58 Australian dollars condition, once sold for $12,600. In collector forums and articles, some dream up even more extreme values, $25,000 or more, imagining a perfect specimen in a future auction. But those are speculative top estimates, not confirmed results. Let me describe some of the error types that actually exist and sometimes fetch thousands. One is the silver planchet error, or transitional error. That's when a 1965 dime is struck on a leftover silver blank that should have been phased out. Because a silver dime in 1965 is so unexpected, it attracts attention. Even lower grade ones might bring a few $1,000s. Another error is missing clad layer. The coin is supposed to have outer plating, cladding, over a core. If part of that plated layer is missing or fails to bond, you might see copper showing through, or discoloration. That kind of error on a small coin like a dime is rarer, so it's interesting when it happens. Some of those have sold in the hundreds or low thousands depending on how dramatic they look. Then there are off-center strikes. The blank might be shifted slightly when it's struck, so parts of the design are off the coin's edge. The more off-center, e.g. 30%, 40%, 50%, and the clearer the design still is, the more valuable. Some off-center 1965 dimes have sold in the low thousands. You also have double strikes / multiple strikes / brockages. This is when the die hits the coin twice, or more, slightly out of alignment. One triple struck 1965 dime graded 55 Australian dollars sold for about $4,465 in a Heritage auction. That's real money. For modest doubling, maybe $100 to $200 or a few hundred. Another variety often discussed isn't strictly an error but is highly prized, full bands, FB. That refers to how sharply the horizontal bands on the torch, on the reverse, are struck. If they are fully separated and crisp, that coin is more desirable among serious collectors. A 1965 dime graded MS-68 with full bands has sold for a few $1,000, e.g. $4,000, in past years. Now, about 1965 $1 coins, there's a catch. The U.S. Mint was not issuing a circulating silver or clad dollar coin in 1965, that came later with Eisenhower dollars, etc. So when someone says, $1,965 coin error, it's very likely a misnomer, either a fantasy piece, a novelty, or mistaken identification. In the mainstream numismatic record, the big eye-catching 1965 error coins are almost all dimes, and some quarters. If you like, I can dig to see if there is any documented $1,965 coin error that sold for a huge amount. Because of the speculative nature of coin collecting, it's common for video scripts or coin dealer blogs to quote wild numbers like $25,000, $43,000, even $78,000. These are often marketing hooks or theoretical top-of-market guesses. What might happen if an absolutely perfect, dramatic specimen ever turned up and multiple high-end collectors battled over it? When you mention them, it's smart to say estimates or collector speculation, so your audience understands the difference between confirmed sales and dreams. Here's how your viewers can test and inspect a coin if they suspect it's a rare 1965 error. First, weigh it exactly. A genuine silver 1965 dime should weigh about 2.50 grams. A regular clad 1965 dime weighs about 2.27 to 2.28 grams. If your coin is much heavier, that's a red flag to investigate further. If it matches silver weight, then you dig deeper. Second, look at the edge carefully. Does it show copper through the sides? Does the color or layering seem off? Are there missing clad patches? Third, do a ring test. Drop it gently on a hard surface. Silver coins ring differently than clad ones, a brighter, sharper chime. Fourth, check under magnification for doubling, partial missing clad, off-center features, die cracks or cuts. Fifth, don't clean or polish it, that could ruin the coin's grade and value. Sixth, if it seems promising, send it for professional authentication/grading, PCGS, NGC, etc. They can verify metal content, confirm it's not a clever plating or fake, and assign a grade that helps buyers trust it. When your video mentions high values, you might present it like this. Some collectors dream that a flawless, perfectly struck 1965 silver error dime could hit $25,000 or $43,000 or even $78,000 in a dramatic auction. We haven't seen a public sale at $78,000. Most confirmed silver error 1965 dimes have sold for $3,000 to $12,600 depending on condition and rarity. But the closer your coin is to perfection, the more it challenges those limits. In summary, your viewers should walk away with a sense of wonder. A small dime from 1965 might quietly hide an error worth thousands. And maybe one day someone will unearth the perfect specimen that pushes value into that $25,000 to $78,000 range. If you like, I can polish this into exactly 1,600 words, or include a voice-friendly call to action at the end for your viewers to check their coins. Do you want me to do that now?